This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in Portland, Oregon. And for those of us outside those two areas, there's easewellness.com, which delivers hemp-derived CBD products via the mail to 41 U.S. states. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, April 16th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 705 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shea Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We kick off today's news with a Bloomberg story published in the Boston Globe looking at the boost in sales that dispensaries should see this weekend as the marijuana-themed holiday of April 20th ticks over on Saturday. The heightened sales that come with the 420 holiday should be as much as double of a day's normal sales levels industry-wide, as last year's 420 sales were 111% higher than average, at least according to the numbers held by the company Headset, which I reported on not too long ago for their partnership with the ratings giant Nielsen. The 420 holiday is a very real and significant part of the modern-day cannabis culture and fits right into the capitalist mode of legal marijuana, so it's probably a good idea to have a good handle on all the right numbers and details. Open up the Globe's piece today. Canadian marijuana company TerrAscend just released some anticipated revenue numbers for 2019, and they seem pretty big. The company, which sells to both the adult use and medical markets in the US and Canada, expects to pull in $135 million Canadian in revenue this year. TerrAscend just bought the American marijuana dispensary chain The Apothecarium and has plans to open up new stores under that brand in New Jersey and California, though the new openings were not factored into those projected revenue numbers. I think this is a pretty bang-up example of just how quickly the numbers are getting big in our industry. With our final top story today is Mr. Kyle Yeager over at Marijuana Moments, who picked up on a recently released study showing that marijuana consumers are more likely to exercise than non-consumers, and that most thought using cannabis helped improve their overall exercise experience, either by improving their performance, helping them recover quicker, or boosting their motivation. The study was conducted by researchers at the University of Colorado in Boulder and surveyed more than 600 cannabis consumers. Pop over to Kyle's piece for more on this stereotype busting headline. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in Portland, Oregon. If you need legal marijuana products that are properly tested, packaged, and labeled, then you're going to love being a customer of Ease, especially if you've been looking for a reputable provider of hemp-derived CBD products. Just zip over to ease.com for legal adult use products in California and Portland, Oregon, and easewellness.com for the 41 U.S. states where that new service delivers to. Big thanks to everyone at Ease for supporting our show. And don't forget, Ease is also a fantastic source of free legal marijuana industry insight and analysis. One last time, just open up ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. All right, time for the blitz. Yesterday in Denver, Colorado, the city council voted 9-2 in favor of a proposal to cut the distance that adult use marijuana consumption businesses have to be from schools, daycare centers, and recreational facilities from 1,000 feet to 500 feet. Denver has been operating a limited pilot program allowing for social use businesses, but the pile of restrictions placed on the system has resulted in just a couple of places opening up. It's estimated that a 500-foot setback rule would open up about 5 square miles of new space where social use businesses could locate. In order for the proposal to become final, the city council must vote on it one more time. The Tallahassee Democrat takes a nice longer form look at efforts in Florida to open up medical marijuana insurance to medical cannabis. Right now in Florida and in just about every other state, medical marijuana patients are not reimbursed or covered in any way for their medical cannabis use. Newly elected Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried, who is a noted supporter of legal marijuana, wants to change that and is leading an effort to push for changes to state law to allow it. A good read no matter what state you live in. This is an issue for all 50. The Associated Press has a fascinating story up about how things are going in the state of Nebraska for legal marijuana reform, particularly medical cannabis. The great irony of that storyline is that conservative lawmakers have, for many years, rejected every single sensible bit of marijuana policy reform efforts that have been pitched in the state, leaving on the table each time the opportunity to craft how a medical cannabis system would work. As a result of those years of obstructionism, the Nebraska state slate is now clean and ready for an anticipated fall ballot measure that would broadly legalize medical marijuana. The AP likened the possible open industry in Nebraska as being similar to Oklahoma, which has no caps on licenses and as a result has thousands of newly licensed businesses. The Canadian marijuana company Aphria just released some new numbers for its third fiscal quarter ending on February 28th and announced that it was continuing to recommend that shareholders reject a buyout offer from competitor Green Growth Brands. For the most recent quarter, Aphria saw net revenues grow 240% from the previous quarter and 617% from the previous year, even as net losses jumped to $108 million against last year's net income of $12 million for the same quarter. Zip over to Deb Borchart's piece on Green Market Report for more on this one. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. It might not be a big surprise that very few doctors in Virginia are participating in the state's medical cannabis program, but it might be a little shocking to hear that just 250 out of the more than 35,000 doctors in the state are registered to recommend medical marijuana. That situation has funneled a lot of interest and business to those few physicians willing to get involved, but has also meant that patient access has suffered and that the price to get certified has no natural competition to drive it down. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp is signing into law tomorrow a bill that will allow medical marijuana patients to purchase medical cannabis oil from a small number of officially licensed companies and universities. House Bill 324 was brokered through the state legislature by Brian Kemp and will allow for the cultivation, processing, and sale of high CBD medical cannabis oil. And finally for today, Mr. Kyle Yeager grabs another twofer with a write-up of a Politico story about a round of marijuana-themed trivia that was recently held during a team-building meeting of Democratic members of Congress. To the great credit of Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Katie Hill of California, and Ruben Gallego of Arizona, all three were able to correctly answer some of the cannabis-themed questions held at the event. As Kyle has it, the two congresswomen knew that the other main types of marijuana besides indica were sativa, while Representative Gallego ultimately won by answering a question about gravity bongs. This is a funny story and all, but it's actually really important that we have lawmakers who have a working idea of cannabis culture. The more informed politicians are to the workings of gravity bongs and steamrollers, the less we'll have stupid laws like the one in Florida that would cap the amount of THC in medical cannabis. So bring on the marijuana trivia questions. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you in tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says, Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.